All right, hello guys. Hopefully this stream is going to go better than Monday's stream. Hopefully my internet doesn't die. I'm watching it right now. As we start the stream, it looks solid. Let me go ahead and go to my laptop so I can pull up comments on the side and such. But we are going to be doing our Q&A that we were supposed to do Monday. But again, things just did not want to cooperate Monday. So we're going to do a quick little stream today. I don't know how long the stream's going to go till because I do have to go to the chiropractor. I have an appointment at 3. So we'll see. We'll see. That's all I'll say. It looks like we are up and good to go on YouTube. I'm not seeing too much packet loss. I'm seeing a little bit, like less than 5%, which is fine. But yeah, so we're into today's Q&A. We're going to kind of redo some of the questions that I did in Monday's stream. And this is going to be all about the Riverlands. I don't expect, a bunch of chat interaction from this stream because, it's just not when I stream. I stream in the evening. This is like the middle of the day. People are working and such. So we're going to bang out some of these questions and, hopefully you guys enjoy it when you watch it as either a video or as people are joining the stream. So let's go back to Instagram. Well, we'll do our Instagram questions first. So what do we got here? Also, hi, Noah. I'm finally catching a live, even though I'm at work. Well, you picked the weirdest stream to be able to join because this is the one like in the middle of the day. It's the one where I'd expect the least amount of people to join. But Noah, I hope your work day is going well. And yeah. Are we back for real? We should be. I'm not having too much packet loss or anything. So I think we're good, Emily. I think. We'll see. We'll see. Because I feel like that's how the last one started. It was okay. And then things started getting real bad real quick. But let's start. So first question that we have comes from Better Call. I just want to point out. I just want to ask, why in your username did you not just go the full way? It could have gone Better Call Saul, but you only went Better Call. All right, it's fine. But do you think Jon will take Robb's crown from Lady Stoneheart? So I talked about this on Monday a little bit. I think that Robb's crown will be recovered. I think it's going to be a strong symbol for whoever is going to become King of the North or the person in charge of the North. So to me personally, I think, yes, it will be taken. I think it will be Arya that actually ends up taking the crown because I think she's going to be the one that kills Lady Stoneheart. So I think Jon will eventually get it from, say, an Arya. But yeah. But another thing I want to point out with that is something that George really plays on is the idea of symbolism. So I think having that idea of legitimacy, I guess, for Jon with Robb's crown, saying that he is kind of the heir, the person that should be in charge, it makes a lot of sense. When we look at a lot of the things George likes to write, things like the Blackfire rebellions and pointing out symbolism, whether that's with the sword Blackfire, which is Aegon the Conqueror's sword, or as we see with other points where it's like, what crown is this king or queen wearing, or what dragon this person has. So symbolism is something that's very important to, who will come next. So I do think that, yes, this crown will be recovered. George has put a heavy emphasis on it, I feel like. So I think it will have a bigger role to play. Hi, Ghost. How are you? Hi, Matthew. I literally just got off work. I didn't know stream was today. I wasn't sure if I was going to do one today because I have a very packed day today. So I'm going to get off the stream around 2:30 today because I have to go to the chiropractor. I want him to straighten out my back a little bit. I've been having some issues with my back. Yeah. And then I have a birthday for one of my friends, so I won't really be able to do much. And then I got to edit videos for tomorrow for this channel and then for my other channel. Will this be uploaded afterwards? Yeah, all of my streams are always like uploaded afterwards. Just look in the stream tab. Don't look in the video tab. So for anyone that wants to rewatch or ever wants to rewatch these streams, I don't private any of these streams. So they stay on the channel, but they're just in the stream category or the live category and not the video category. Perfect just got in. Well, nice to see you. Nice to see you, Sterling. But yeah, let's move on. So we now have Maz's question. And Maz's question is kind of like a two-part question. Like, he has another part of this that I think ties in really well with this question, but why would Beric Dondarrion want to resurrect Catelyn Stark? Now, I think that's an interesting idea of why he would want to do this. Now, one, I think you look at the connection that we see with Ned and Beric, as Ned is the one that sends Beric on his mission, and it sends him down this path. So it could be something, and Ned also ends up dying, so Beric, I think, probably had some respect for Ned, and seeing Catelyn as this person that, you know, has brutally been killed, slaughtered, maybe he believed that she deserved to be brought back, and that ties with Ned, that maybe Ned would want this to happen. Also, you think about Beric personally. Beric is this person that has been continuously being brought back. He is someone that's gone through a lot, and maybe at this point he didn't want to come back anymore. Maybe he was okay with giving his life for someone that maybe could be more impactful and continue on the Brotherhood Without Banners work, and he doesn't really know what is going to resurrect, as Lady Stoneheart is, I would say, not the best influence or leader, but that's what ends up happening. I have to dip soon, but I just want to make sure I come in and show my love. Of course, Emily. Thank you for coming in. Hi, Casper. How are you? But let's get to the other question that Maz asked. This is on Discord. Again, for anyone wanting to answer or ask any questions for the streams, I always do Instagram and my Discord first, just to promote those. So let me go to the channel. There is a questions for stream. I do post these as well as with Instagram, like probably in the middle of the week, just to give you guys a couple of days if you have any questions. But Maz's other question then on Discord was, do you think there's any symbolic or anything symbolic about the Brotherhood Without Banners being led by a resurrected dead man and then a resurrected dead woman? So I talked about this a little bit again on Monday, and I think the idea here is, I think George is playing on the idea of real life. Think about the idea of Jesus for a lot of people, or just religion in general. I know religion, everybody has their own different things, but one of the main ideas would be that, well, Jesus came back, he was resurrected, and that's why I think a good amount of people would then tend to follow, say, religion. That might not be exactly why, but that's one of the big belief systems, is that he came back. So it's an idea of, well, there is some power, there is some higher purpose here. And when you look at Westeros, inherently, when you have the Seven, which is not really a religion that you see a lot of their power, it's more like a faith type thing, like how it is in real life, where people that believe in certain religions, a lot of it's more based on just your faith, not actually like seeing these powers or anything. It's faith-based. That's kind of what the Seven is. So when you see something like the Red God, which is not very prominent in Westeros, and you're seeing these things like somebody being brought back from death, okay, well, now that gives someone a pause, because now you're sitting here going, well, hold on a second. There is a power here. There has to be. There's some higher purpose going on here. That's going to get a lot of people to inherently follow that, because that will give them, I would say, it would make some people, how would I word this? They would feel safer about there being some sort of purpose after death if there is this higher up power, right? I think a lot of people, and I think most people in general, have, at least in the back of their mind, what comes after death, and a little bit of that fear of what happens when you die. That's something that I think George plays on a lot with, especially the Brotherhood Without Banners and this idea of the Fire God, or the Red God. Hi, FaZe Diamond, how are you? I like Lady Stoneheart, but I'm glad in the show Beric Dondarrion lived in the show. Yeah, I think Beric is a good character. Personally, I would have rather seen Lady Stoneheart than Beric, but yeah, I could see that. Hi, Nikki, how are you? What do you think of the possibility that Arya/Mercy might kill? That is my leading theory of how Lady Stoneheart's plot is going to end. I think it just makes so much sense for Arya and Stoneheart's plot lines, where Arya comes back, she's going to want vengeance. So where is she going to look for that, right? She's going to look for the Freys, the people that killed her mother in her mind, and her brother. Also, the direwolf Greywind. So there's a lot of reasons as to why Arya would go there after she leaves Essos. And the other point of this would be that the Riverlands are very central. Also, if we look at the area of which all this is going on, it's not going to take very long for her to get there. Say if she was going to go to King's Landing, you have to go to the far south. So I think it'd be really interesting if Arya was the one to do it. I think she will be around that area. Now, the reason why I also like this idea is Arya is this character that's been very vengeful. She's very tied in right now to wanting to take off all of these names on her list. Well, if she sees what that has really done to, say, someone like her mother, it could really be an awesome, awesome moment where Arya has to reflect and think about what she's doing. That's great for character building for her, and I really like that. And the idea we've already talked about with Mother's Mercy kind of being this little foreshadow to it, I really like the idea of Arya being the person to then kill Stoneheart. I also think she takes the crown and gives it probably to Jon. Do you think George will change a lot of his plans for storyline in spite of David and Dan? I think inherently he will, but the problem is that the show and the book and certain plot points are just vastly different, so they were going to be different anyway. Now, there's some things that maybe were the same. So Bran being king is something that I could really see as a big possibility that I think George definitely told them. But there's other things that you look at and it's like, okay, Dany going mad, was that something that maybe came from the books? Was that something that was going to happen? Well, regardless if it was going to happen or not in the books, it's going to have to happen completely differently. Right? Because we have young Griff as an element to it. We still have characters like Barristan alive. So there's a lot of elements that are going to inherently be different because of things that are still going on. So I think, yes, he will change a decent amount of things, but that's because of there's other things going on, personally. But, yeah, so Nikki, my final outcome for Lady Stoneheart is that she does get her vengeance on the phrase, this Revenge Red Wedding, which I talked to House of the Stag when we were doing, I don't know if it was in our collab video, or it was kind of like something we talked off camera, but we talked about the idea that this Revenge Red Wedding should really feel like you kind of feel bad for the phrase in a sense, where, yes, you're sitting here like, wow, we're getting all this vengeance on the phrase, you know, justice for Robb, but at the same time, you know, in the back of your mind, this should be probably brutal. We don't want to glorify violence and things. So you're going to see some people that maybe weren't even involved in the Red Wedding that are getting brutally murdered, and you're sitting here going, is this right? And that's something to me that I think would be good for the Revenge Red Wedding. And so we see Arya seeing all this as well, and what it's kind of done to her mother. And I think Arya kind of, as a mercy, kills Stoneheart. That's what I think is the outcome for that. I hope that makes sense overall. So, let's move on. We're now going to move to our YouTube comments. So this was on the community page, again, for anyone that wanted to do questions. These will always be on there as well. This is where I get bulk majority of my questions, to be fair. But I do like having those other options as well. Where are we at here? Okay. Let me drink some of my tea. I made some tea and I haven't really drank any of it yet. Okay, so this comment is from BT blank PZ1 OS. I hope I said that somewhat right. But they say Robb's will doesn't name an heir, it names an heir maker. The argument with his mother was to ensure she knew Jon came before anyone, not one of Ned's kids. Robb has no idea when he might, or if Jane might be pregnant, or even if one of his sisters can be freed before he dies. By securing his mother at Seaguard and naming her as an heir maker, he ensures his generals don't start naming random heirs from their own families and breaking up his kingdoms over it. This explains why she had to be brought back. It also explains why she seems to be looking for Arya, even though everyone believes she's married to Ramsay. Rather than finding someone to bring her to Jon or bring Jon to her, she's the Kristen Cole of this era, the Kingmaker. It doesn't make sense to disinherit Jane's potential children, but it does make sense to impress upon her that Jon must come before the Vale born. So, okay, I get what you're saying, and I like your idea. I think it's an interesting idea, an interesting take on Catelyn that I don't think is actually that popular, but I think it's a very interesting take. But here's what I'm going to say about this. One, Robb believes that his position is in a lot of danger. Let's remember the situation right now. The Tyrells and the Lannisters have gotten together. They now overwhelmingly are like above Robb's position, right? They have more men, they have more resources, everything is leaning against Robb. Robb at this point is losing the war, right? He is losing men, he is losing position, he's lost the north. Things are not looking good for Robb. So Robb is definitely wanting to secure up what would happen if he died. We know right now that Jane is not pregnant. Robb assumes that, right? And here's the thing. If Robb did have a child, you would assume that possibly he would just change it if he was still alive. And here's the other thing I'd like to point out. I do not think Robb would name his kid with Jane the heir to the King of the North. Because then that means a child is now ruling, or a baby would be ruling as King of the North, and that's just not going to work. So I think it does make the most sense for Robb here to name Jon. And what I think Catelyn's point of this and this idea is that Catelyn is this character that we've seen has emotion. She constantly is emotional over logic. That's what the last chapter I did yesterday was all about, where she is constantly at this battle of emotion and logical decisions. And what is the main thing that emotion has just really destroyed Catelyn on is this idea of family. So Jon is this person that Catelyn has disliked, mistreated, hated, pretty much his entire life. And why then would Catelyn want Jon to become the heir to the North? She wouldn't. She wants her family to be in control. She doesn't want Jon to be part of this family again. She doesn't want any of that. So that's her personal emotional bias against Jon. So it makes a ton of sense why Catelyn would do that. So even when Catelyn becomes Lady Stoneheart, she wouldn't instantly go crown Jon because she doesn't inherently like Jon. And when we see Lady Stoneheart as this vengeful, angry character, of course she's not going to now all of a sudden be nice to Jon. That doesn't make any sense. So to me, I come at this from a different point of view of how I read Catelyn as a character and how George is writing her as a character. But I definitely think you have an interesting idea. I don't have that same idea. Let me look at the comments here. So, green or black tea? I'm on green tea for now, Sterling. But I want to, when I get done with the package I have of tea right now, I'm going to move on to a different tea that Matthew has recommended me. So, we'll see how that goes. Also, hi, Ashley. I am on early today. I had to get the stream done early today, or I wouldn't be able to stream till really Friday, and I didn't really want to do it Friday either, because I've got some things with school that I need to do, so. God. All right, moving on. So, we now have a question from Ben McBride 2590. Loving these Q&As, man. What do you think the Blackfish will get up to and wins? I think the Blackfish will be this person that is basically trying to rally all of these forces that have been spread across the Riverlands, unite them, and I think he's going to end up teaming up with Lady Stoneheart and the Brotherhood Without Banners to try and take back Riverrun. That's his main goal. It's going to be to retake his home and getting that back. That's going to be his main thing in Winds of Winter. That's going to be what his plot's really going to be about for the most part, in my opinion. I know we're not getting any more POVs, but I would love to see a POV of the Blackfish. I know, again, we're not introducing new POVs. Georgia said he's not, but it would be really cool if we got to see Blackfish as a new POV, but I don't think it's going to happen. Hey, I got your stream for once. How are you? Hi, Robert. I am good. How are you? Just a little busy, so I'm trying to get the stream done a little earlier. But yeah, that is what I think he is going to be up to in Winds of Winter, Ben. Jack6235 asks, will you okay, so this one's a little off topic, but will you continue to react to the Order of the Green Hand videos? I really like your other videos reacting to their stuff, even though I tend to agree more with them, but I genuinely like seeing the perspective as someone who thinks R plus L equals J. Being exposed to the best case I have seen made for N plus A equals J. I like your stand stuff and your live streams too. Well, thank you, Jack. I probably won't be doing Order of the Green Hand for a while. I just finished their most updated N plus A series. I didn't really think it was that short. It was only 2 videos. I thought it was going to be at least a 3rd video because I felt like there was some stuff that they hadn't really brought up yet. So I was a little surprised by that. But yeah, so I'm done with that. I think the next reaction video and or series is going to be with In Deep Geek. He has given me permission to do that, and I had, you know, a nice little email, I guess, with him, so that was pretty cool. But yes, I think I'm going to be doing him. I'm not sure what yet, because I guess this is a little teaser for you guys, I guess, but I was going to do his R plus L series, or his video. It's not a series, but it's like an hour-long video. I don't think I want to do that now because I think I've just done so much of that I'm a little burnt out on Jon's parentage. And also, he gave me a little sneak peek that he may be updating that series, so I may just wait till he does that. So I don't think I'm going to do that next. I'm not sure who, or not who, but what video of his I want to do yet, but I'm looking into it. I can tell you guys for certain, this Saturday will not be a reaction video. This Saturday will be I'm doing a ranking all 17 Targaryen kings, so. But yeah, I hope that answers your question, Jax, as well. I'm glad you're early. I couldn't catch it otherwise. Well, Robert, I wouldn't get used to this time, but I'm glad that you were able to make the stream. What do you think about this scenario, Grease? What if Lady Stoneheart hears about Sansa being in the Vale and gives Robb's crown to Sansa, or gives the crown to someone to give to Sansa like Brienne? I can see that too, Matthew. That makes a lot of sense, personally. I don't like that as much as the Arya situation, but I could see that happening. That makes sense. Yeah, the Blackfish death was just sad. It was just sad in so many ways. Like, I didn't hate the way they did it, where, like, he dies defending Riverrun and his home, and they kind of needed to wrap that plot up, so I didn't mind them killing the Blackfish, but off-screen was just... It was just... Oh, God. Young Griff POV? Yeah, I'd love to see a Young Griff POV as well, but we unfortunately won't get that either. Hi, Dogman. How are you? Riverlands plot is begging for Frey Civil War. What do you think about that theory? I really like that theory. I think that could be another reason why the Revenge Red Wedding 2.0 could happen. Just the Freys being in complete disarray. I think it's been foreshadowed too much for it to not at least happen a little bit. I hope he does as well, Matthew. Also, yeah, Casper, you're right. We got to get rid of some of those Freys. All right, so let's move on. Sterling, who was in the chat, I don't know if he's still in the stream, but do you think Brienne and Jaime will fight since she's taking him to see Lady Stoneheart? And if they do, I think she'll fall on her sword and sacrifice herself for Jaime. Thoughts? That's a very interesting theory. I've never heard that theory before, that maybe that Brienne and Jaime will actually fight and that, you know, all that. But in your situation, let's say that, you know, Brienne brings Jaime back and they have to fight. I think Brienne would, like, fall on her sword. I don't think she would have it in her to kill Jaime. I just think that goes against her, what we've been built up as her character at this point. So I agree. Now, I don't think that's going to necessarily happen. But I like the idea. I think it'd be a really tragic thing that George could possibly do. I won't discount it at all, but I don't think that's what is going to be the outcome of that. Hi, Simon. How are you? Oliver was the only loyal Frey to Robb's cause. The Howland and Ashara video from Anique would be a nice alternative to N plus A equals J. That way it's more about Ashara rather than Jon's parents. Plus, you think she's dead, so it'd be food for... That's true, but I kind of don't want to do Ashara either. Actually. But here's my thing, like, I'm not as, like, passionate about Ashara being dead. Like, if Ashara was alive, I think she would be with the Howland, and I think that's very reasonable. Like, I don't like, have, like, a really... I don't know. I kind of want to do something different. I kind of want to do a Blackfire Rebellion video, or, like, reacting video, because I've been really Blackfire Rebellion pilled lately, and... yeah, I just find it very interesting. Like, History of Westeros they're like really old Blackfire series. Like, it's real old. Like, the first video is like 9 years old. I'm on the 8th part of their series. I've been listening to it while I work out. It's such a good well-crafted series. I've listened, like, theoretically, I've listened to 16 hours worth of their series, more or less. It's just fantastic. Can Stoneheart write? I don't know, Alvarez. I don't know. You are dreaming, Jaharis. You are dreaming right now. This is all an illusion right now. I am not here. All right. Let's continue. Do you think the Vale will go to war to claim Riverrun for Sweet Robin, given he is a Tully on his mother's side? No. Mystery, I think if the Vale is going to go to war, it's going to be in Sansa's name, not Robin's name. Because I think Sansa is going to get revealed, and I think it will be more for Sansa than it will be for Robin. But I do think of all of the things that the Vale will be involved in, I think it makes more sense they're involved in the Riverlands, taking that back than the North. I just don't see a way that the Vale gets fully operated, gets into the North, helps with that fight before the others have already taken over. But yeah. Does the Vale have a good number? Are you talking about like numbers of strength? If so, yes. And they are some of the best trained fighters in all of Westeros, if not the best. So, yeah. Lady Stoneheart versus Jon Snow. What would... Robb would not like it very much. About the Riverlands, I really like the theory that Peter will secure / invade Riverlands from Vale instead of going north. I think it's... I agree, Robert. I think it's much more likely. Also, Sansa's like the least like northern Stark. She's much more of a Tully, so I think it kind of fits in with her character really well. Will we get Joe Mama Jill? Maybe. Other than the first Blackfire Rebellion, the War of the Ninepenny Kings, oh, the War of the Ninepenny Kings is the best Blackfire Rebellion. Yeah, I'd agree. It's definitely the most memorable. I mean, some of them are not even rebellions, really. Like, it's interesting that George names them as rebellions in the story when it's like, oh, one of them, it's like, there's not even really a battle. It's just like Daemon II is basically doing this mummer's farce without Bittersteel, without anybody. And, oh, look, he gets caught by Bloodraven. Oh, well. Like, that's one of them. Like, there's some of the rebellions where it's like, man, it's a little... Wasn't really a rebellion, but, you know. Oh no, I'm busy. I can't watch the stream live. Well, you can always watch it when it is, I guess, a video. It'll be in the live category with the exact same thumbnail as the last two streams because, yeah. I like Littlefinger would be defeated by a Stark the first time physical, the second one seeing which he thought he was better at. I could see that. But yeah, the second rebellion is a little ridiculous. If you don't have the backing of Bittersteel, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Like, scheming. Okay, that's what you meant to say. I was wondering, Alvarez, but yeah, I could see that. All right. Do you think Cat and Littlefinger will run into each other again? I don't think so. I think it's unlikely. I think personally, when we look at the idea here that I think I don't think so. No, I really don't. I think Littlefinger's going to take him a little while to get the Vale going to war. Then going all the way to the Riverlands. I think by that point, Arya probably will have, like, killed her. I don't think so, though. I think it'd be an interesting interaction, though. I'd love to see it, though. But I don't think so. What do you think will happen with the Hound? I really don't know what the Hound is going to do. A part of me kind of just wants the Hound to not come back into the story, but I don't know. I really don't. Let me know what do you guys think is going to happen with the Hound? I really don't know. I couldn't really give you I couldn't give you a great prediction there. Yeah, I agree with that, Alvarez. I bet Hound's story is done. I kind of doubt it, Jim. But I really wish it is. I hope it's just like he's done. He's not in the story anymore. All of the okay, so this question... Oh, by the way, that question was from Chieto. So, yeah. I just got to your question as you were, getting in the stream. But thank you for your question. K Fizzle 586. All the best Riverlords are named after Muppets. If a new Riverlord is crowned, what would be their name? I'm a big fan, okay? I'm a big fan of Kermit Tully. Oh, hold on. Let's look up some Muppet names. Let me look up some Muppet names, and then I'm going to come up with one. Hold on. Okay. Let's do, hold on. Let's do, okay, so let's say there's a new River Lord, okay? Let's say that the Tullys get defeated in this war, right? And let's say some other River Lord has to take up the mantle. And who else could it be other than Fozzie Blackwood? Oh, that'd be good. Let's go with that. Let's go with that. Okay, Fizzle. Hound equals Greater. I think with the this one, the shit. Yeah, I think the way the Hound is gonna get pulled back has to be something like that. But I would rather it not. What did I do wrong, Ashley, about the Hound? I like the Hound. I just want him to like live a peaceful life right now. I don't want him to be drugged back into this world. I agree. I think it would be really cool if he killed Robert Strong, but you know, I don't know. You think Daenerys would die in the book? Who would you think would kill her? Who will kill Daenerys? I think it would be a little poetic if Tyrion killed her. I could see Jon killing her. I could see the others killing her. And then I'd say the other side shots would be like maybe Jaime and Arya would be those other two, but I don't know. Grouch Tully? Yeah, that'd be a good one. Is it likely as possible that the band will get back together and wins, meaning the North Vale Riverlands? Yeah, I think it could be possible. I don't know about the Stormlands. I think the Stormlands are in a weird position where they're probably going to be backing young Griff because of Edric being brought back into the story, but Jon Snow making... Yeah, that's what I think could be likely for Jon and Dany's story. Will any of the dragons live to the end of the story? No. I do not think so, Carson. I think it makes sense for them to die off by the end. I think the dragons inherently can be a good thing, but for the general public, and for the common people, dragons are bad. And all it's going to do is we're going to repeat the cycle again. If there are dragons still left and they can continue to populate and continue to have more dragons, it's going to lead to another Dance of the Dragons, and we're going to see more carnage. And I think that is just repeating history. Maybe that's what George wants to do, but I don't think so. Can you imagine people in the Reach in the winter becoming middle class and freaking out? Yeah, that'd be hilarious. You think young Griff could kill Dany? I don't think young Griff will. I'd like to, because I like young Griff more than Dany, because I think he's a Blackfire, but we'll see. If one of her own dragons killed her, that is true. Arya to arrive at the Quiet Isle on her way to the north, that could be possible. And if Dany were to go insane and had to be stopped, Ser Jorah would be a good candidate to kill her. That's true. That's very possible. Would Dany's dragon mate, or would it make a weird baby, or are they like Targaryens in that aspect? I'm not sure, Alvarez, on that question, actually. All hail Fagon, 6th of his name. That is correct. I hate to say it, but I kind of hope we get a tragic dragon death. Like a death as tragic as Luke Velaryon from the dance. It would be shocking and cool. I kind of agree. You think the leftover dragons migrated somewhere else, away from humanity, rain and fire and blood, because I would steal some dragon eggs? You probably, yeah. But yeah, I would agree. I would agree. All right. Ghost, who was in chat earlier, I saw him. Hey, my lord, how are you? Do you think House Tully will become the Lord Paramounts of the Riverlands once again? Yeah, I just think there's too many Tullys right now for that not to happen. Edmure's still a thing. We have Blackfish. Sansa is half Tully herself. And I think it's actually more likely that she rules the Riverlands than she does the North. I think it just makes more sense with her character if, say, Edmure maybe died or something like that. So I do think that, yes, they will. Just join, or hi advocate. I just joined the stream, so how much have I missed? Any predictions on Wynn's release date? My prediction, this is going to be a loose prediction and a very optimistic prediction for Wynn's, but I would say the end of 2024. I'd say more realistic, probably the end of 2025. But yeah. I really do hope young Griff takes Osarion and shows that he actually loves him, for Dany to see that he actually does care. I mean, that could be a really interesting point of it, is like, Dany has been kind of neglectful of her other two dragons outside of Drogon. Could that lead to the other dragons going to somebody else? Blackfish versus Barristan. Barristan would carve him up like butter. I would love to see Dany and Fagon get married. It just, I think that would be a great like option for both of them, but because I think it would take some of the conflict out of the story, I don't think it's going to happen. Do you think magic will completely disappear by the end of the story, or will some remaining? I think we will kind of go back to, I guess, before the dragons came back, where I think magic will die, more or less. Yeah. Do you think Nymeria's pack will do something cool during the wins? I've always imagined Nymeria attacking Cersei, fleeing from King's Landing. So we've gotten hints that they may be involved in the prologue of wins, and I think that's the most likely. Just taking out forces within the Riverlands would be my guess for the pack. But yeah, I don't think Dany would be happy with anyone taking her dragon. Let's be completely honest. Dany's going to kill Fagon and become mad per George's planned ending for Dany. I think that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I kind of agree to that. I think that makes a lot of sense. I don't know about going mad, but I think she will be the one to kill Fagon. Will any Riverlord or Riverlands houses become extinct besides the Frey, since they have so many damn heirs everywhere? That I can think of, no. I really don't think any of the Riverlands lords or houses will go completely extinct. All right, moving on. We have Evie, and their question, or her question, was, will Jaime and Brienne escape Stoneheart and possibly kill her? I do not think they're going to escape Lady Stoneheart. I think they will actively be part of her plans in the Revenge Red Wedding. I think we are going to see it probably through either Jaime or Brienne's eyes. And I think what's going to set them free is Arya killing Lady Stoneheart. And I think Brienne will then become probably companions with Arya. We'll see that kind of work out. And Jaime, I think Jaime is going to head back to King's Landing. I think he has unresolved business there. So I do not think they will be involved in really killing Lady Stoneheart or even escaping her. Will Nymeria's pack play a role in the downfall of the Freys and Lannisters in the Riverlands? And that came from Matt Stewart. So, yes, I do think they will. I don't know how much they'll be involved. I think they could be involved in this Lannister army that's going west. But yeah, I don't know how much further than that. I do think they'll be kind of like a guerrilla type force where they're just kind of picking off, kind of like the Brotherhood of how banners are. Like, the Riverlands are a very dangerous place now if you're a Lannister or a Frey. And I think definitely that could be something that we do see. House Went. Yeah, that's a good shout. That's a good shout. Jaime will kill Cersei per the... I agree with that, Advocate. I think Jaime is more tied into the Cersei plotline. House Baelish will be extinct. That's true. That's a good one. That's another good one. All right, well, I'm through all of my questions. So if you guys have any other questions, let me know down in the stream. But after that, we will probably head out on the stream. And also, I hope you guys enjoy tomorrow's video. Tomorrow's video is going to be who would have been a better king, Daemon Blackfire or Daeron II? So I'm interested to see what you guys think about that. Where do you think Winds will end? I think Winds of Winter is going to basically end where the others have come through the wall, and Stannis is our epilogue. I think Stannis is the last chapter, and it's basically him sacrificing himself, protecting the North while the rest of our forces can retreat. And I think that the North falls basically by the end of Winds of Winter. I think that'll be the starting of the process. The North will fall. Daemon Blackfire would be the best. Why do you think so, Holly? Also, thank you. I got it, or actually, my parents got it for me, but from the St. Louis Zoo. Is this on the... I can't really tell. Hold on. This... There we go. I'm a big polar bear guy, okay? And... yeah, it's just... I wanted a big mug, because when I do these streams, right, I need a big mug. If I have a little tiny mug, I drink through it too quick. I kind of agree there, Sterling. I think that could be a point. And if we're in Stannis' head, right, what would a great line be other than, like, Stannis does his one last charge against, say, if there's Night King, and in that moment, as he dies, he thinks he was lied to. Mel, you know, was manipulating him for this whole time. He was not this Azor Ahai character. He was never this person. And how many thousands of people died because of that idea? So I think that could be really interesting. How does Riverrun's moat defense system work? I'm not exactly sure. I know, so if we... Let me look up a good picture of Riverrun. But I know that they have a bunch of rivers which then separate camps. So it makes it hard for you to actually siege the castle as a whole. That's why it was actually... the Blackfish was able to get out of Riverrun because of that idea. So I think the main point that you would be looking at for the defense of Riverrun and kind of their geography, more or less, is that it's kind of hard to assault it. It would be my look at it, because you have, again, when you're looking at it on a map, you have 3 rivers that kind of coincide into the castle. So to siege it, you again have to have a force on all 3 landing points, and we see Robb use that to his advantage when Jaime is sieging it. So again, that's kind of the main like thing I would kind of look at there. Do you think the matter of the others or the Iron Throne will be settled first? I think the others will be settled first. Gendry's plot, or plotting. I don't know where Gendry goes, because Gendry's a weird character, because I think Edric will be the character that is like the person that is the new Baratheon, that he's legitimized and all of that. He's been kind of built up to that. So what is Gendry's role in the story? I'm not sure. Robert, I think it could be in the Riverlands. I also think it could be like around the neck as well. So I think so, yeah. Is a bear your spirit animal? Holly, it is not. It is not. I would say... Oh, I'm trying to think of like my favorite animal. I think my favorite animal is a snow leopard. I'd probably have to say. Would be pretty interesting if Littlefinger saw Stoneheart and kills her because he couldn't bear to see her that way. That would be a really cool twist. I don't think it will happen, but it could be. Good point. Maybe his last line in his head is something like snow. That could be true as well. I would like for Stannis to yell to his soldiers in their final stand saying, "Ours is the fury," because I don't think any Baratheon brother has said it. I don't think... that I can think of, Alvarez, I don't think anyone has. Robert and Aegon IV would get into a war with each other. Robert would smash Aegon in a war. Let's just put that out there. Robert and Aegon had a lot of, like, they had a lot of, let's say, lust. They had a lot of greed, as in they liked food, they liked their wine. But in a war situation, that's when Robert thrives. Aegon is terrible in wars. He tries to attack Dorne while his son is married to a Martell. While then, his grandson is then going to marry a Dornish woman. And then, when he goes to attack the Dornish, he does not kill a single Dornish. He tried to bring wildfire to... Aegon the Fourth was an idiot. I'm just gonna, yeah. I mean, he was just a fucking idiot. He was an idiot. It's crazy coming to streams like this and realizing how many plot lines there are in only one region. Yeah, this is the problem, is like, this is just the Riverlands. Like, think about Essos. To me, Essos has a ton of plot lines that, like, how do you resolve them all? Like, how do you resolve all of it? And that's the issue. The most difficult to predict for wins is honestly the Vale. A lot of question marks. Yeah, I have a lot of question marks about the Vale. I don't know. Because with, like, King's Landing, with, like, the Westerlands, with, like, the Stormlands, with the Reach, there's only a certain amount of ways that you can go with the story. With certain plot lines, like the Vale, it's like, we know the end goal has to be, okay, the Vale is probably going to get involved in the war, but how? How do those things happen? There's so many different ways. What will the fate of Brienne be? Carson, I really like Brienne's fate being that she becomes, like, the Lord Commander of the Kingsguard. I really liked that ending from the show. Wasn't a fan how he really got there, but I think Brienne being the person that brings back the prestige of the Kingsguard would be amazing. And, you know, being the first woman Kingsguard, I think there's a lot of great parallels to, like, her with also Dunk, so I really like that idea. There still is Jane Westerling plot pregnant with Robb's heir. I personally don't think she is, but I think that would be interesting. I also really love the theory that Stoneheart resurrects Robb through the kiss. Really love that theory. It's one of my favorite theories. I just don't think it's actually going to happen. I'm hoping Jane becomes Queen or Lady of the North by the end of the story. Maybe. His last line to the Night King is, "Go on, do your duty." Canon confirmed event. Jane Westerling is carrying Robert Baratheon's child. The Iron Bank is also a sperm bank. We will have a Westerling Baratheon king. Oh dear, Dizzy. Oh dear. Yoren was working for Varys. Interesting. What FaZe? What is your like evidence for that? I'm just curious. Yeah, Essos is never united. They are constantly warring. Think about the Golden Company, how they're able to rise in wealth and stuff like that. It's because they're always fighting. You want Robb with the wolf head? That would be cool. Yeah, I don't think Rickon would want to come back home either. What do you think Robb would do if Lady Stoneheart brought him back? So the question here is, what is Robb when he comes back? If Robb came back, who is he? What is he? Is he just this wolf character now? Like, is he a functional human being anymore? That's the real question we have to look at, Noah, because you can't possibly predict what he would do if he's like Catelyn, for instance. Or he's probably going to be even worse than Catelyn. He had his head cut off. So, I don't know. Barrick's last kiss has been passed around more than a brothel worker. Yes. So many plot lines to resolve. There's no way George finishes in 7 books. I kind of think things would be a lot smoother for him if he did 8 books, but he wants to do it in 7, and that's part of the problem, I would say. So, but I'm going to end the stream on that note. We had a pretty solid, like, hour stream, I think. So thank you guys all for watching. I hope you guys all enjoyed the stream. Hopefully we'll be back Monday. And yeah, thank you guys all for joining in. Did not expect as many people to come into the stream, especially when I was doing this earlier on in the day. But yeah, I'll see you guys all in the next one. Bye, guys.